Hey guys, this is Trader Genius. I'm Rob, and I've got Jess here. We were just on our hike, and we got to talking about making a video to help everybody understand what trading options are out there. So there's been a lot in the news this week, brother, about this GameStop deal and independent investors driving up stock prices and kind of basically manipulating the market. So regardless of that story, it's put the stock market on everybody's radar out there. So if you've seen all these reports, and if you're kind of interested in getting involved, you just don't know how to get started, well, we have new members coming to Trader Genius all the time, and Jess's role within Trader Genius is dealing with members. So Jess, in your talks with members in the club, what has come up? What are some frequently asked questions about getting started the right way?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that we get is, I'm interested, I know about the stock market, but what's the right fit for me to get started?
Yeah.
And there's definitely some considerations. For example, day trading options, that's a great way to generate income, but it does require that you're in the market during live trading hours. And so for folks that are working, a full-time job during the day, sometimes that can provide a challenge to be able to get into the market full-time and be able to make a go of day trading options. Whereas with, say, stock trading, whether you're wanting to trade daily, weekly, monthly time frames, you can set your buy and sell orders outside of the stock market hours. So you can do it in the evening. For me, I've got kids. I usually wait till they go to bed, and the house is a little bit quieter, and I'm able to go through my process with that. So those are two big considerations.
Yeah, that's stock trading, and then investing is really just a longer term form of stock trading. Generally, we think of it as 6 months or more for investing. So if you really only want to check your portfolio once every month or once every few weeks or every couple months, how does investing kind of fit for most people as far as time commitments?
Investing is probably the lowest time commitment once you have your system down and you know exactly what you're doing. For instance, with the Trader Genius software, it could be as little as an hour a month that you're spending on your investments, and that really depends on how involved you want to be. And the nice part is, and what I like about the market is, it's not something that you have to go all in at once. So get a couple stocks, see how that goes, and then gradually just build more into it. The more you're comfortable with your system, the more you'll be able to handle being more involved.
Okay, so yeah, that's one thing, is the time commitment of all these different forms of trading. There are a host of other different instruments you can trade out there. You hear about crypto. Bitcoin's been in the news, Ethereum. There's Forex, of course. That's pretty popular because it's 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, and you can access it on your schedule. So that's an attractive one. And there's other markets out there like commodities, but a lot of those require very, very specialized, specific training objectives to get through that early learning phase. And you talked about earlier while we were walking around about the difference between the time commitment and the learning phase of getting a trading system up and running, and once you get to a certain level of effectiveness, the time commitment that goes into the maintenance mode of a trading system. So what does that look like between stock trading and day trading options?
Oh yeah, day trading options is definitely more of a time commitment.
Yeah,
it's equivalent to learning how to drive a manual car versus an automatic. When you're 16, learning on a manual, it's going to take you longer to be able to take that person out on a date or go hang out with your friends in the evening than learning an automatic. So you can always learn the automatic and then progress to learn the manual. You don't have to just jump in up front. Even if you have additional time, maybe you're furloughed from work because of COVID or something like that, and you say, oh, I have time, so now's the time for me to learn options. Well, maybe it is and maybe it isn't. If you plan on going back to a regular job or kind of a typical 9-to-5 job, all that training for options, when you go into maintenance mode and you're doing your daily trading, that may get crunched because of having a regular job. Whereas stock trading, you can get up and running sooner, and you can go at it a little bit more at your own pace.
Yeah, gradual.
Yeah, and it doesn't require as much upfront time. It still requires time. You still need to give it time and attention.
Yeah.
But definitely once you get into maintenance phase with stocks, there's a lot less maintenance with stocks than there is day trading options.
Yeah, realistically, like you and I both trade stocks, and it's up to 30 minutes per night, just going over the portfolio that you have, eyeballing. We have smart lists within the Trader Genius software that allow us to filter down from, it's up to 8,000 stocks in the system now, filter those down, and usually it's anywhere from like 25 to 60 stocks that pop up in my filtered smart list, and those are my candidates for my trading system. And at the point where you're in maintenance mode, it's really just, are you going to have the discipline to give that attention to your stock trading system every night? For day trading, yeah, it is a time commitment issue, as far as like volume of time during the day, but it's also specific times during the day are better for day trading, at least at the short moves. The morning time, 9:30 to 11 Eastern, is what we generally say is the best time window for trading options. So that's something to consider as well. Is, do you have the ability to dedicate those specific hours of the day to your trading system? And that's a consideration that it all varies based off of what you've got available and what you're trying to grow into. So that leads us to kind of the profit question. You know, the most frequently asked question is, how much money can I make? Well, it's relative. It's relative to, one, your starting point, and two, where you want to get to financially. So if you have a small chunk of change, let's say $1,000 or $2,000, like that's a lot to some people. So if that's what you're starting with, are you limited to just trading stocks, or can you trade options with that? Or like, what does that chunk of change allow you to get into as far as trading systems?
That's a good question. I would say really starting out with stocks and growing that account to the point where then you can, if day trading options is something you want to do, or Forex, that you can then go in and leverage that money once you have a certain amount that allows you to actually be effective. Now, with day trading options, you know, you're really looking at income generation. And you can do the same with short-term stock trading. It is on a little bit longer time frame. You know, you're not in necessarily for those quick 1-2 minute or hour-long trades necessarily, but you can still grow it. And so asking yourself the question of, do I want to do this for income generation, or am I looking for really growing some wealth and that longer term outlook, whether it's that big purchase for a house or a new vehicle, or really to just bolster a retirement account?
Yeah. Well, that's powerful. Like you're drawing lines between income and wealth generation, and clearly there needs to be differentiation there. But also, what we're talking about here with time commitments and your starting point with finances, where you're trying to get to, it all boils down to expectations being realistic right off the bat. If we go down that rabbit hole of like Instagram ads, or maybe, you know, it's on Facebook, it's on Google, these advertisements are everywhere from folks with, let's just say, varying sets of scruples, and and varying real commitments to you getting up and running, trading, and being successful. One of the biggest benefits of Trader Genius is the community. So as for a new person coming in and trying to set their realistic expectations, what is, you know, this first, let's say, 6 months of getting started trading, what does that look like for most Trader Genius members?
For most Trader Genius members, it's really getting the overview of the software, kind of understanding the perspective of which the software was built, and understanding where things are within the software. The software itself is robust, and I would say probably one of the biggest challenges for a lot of folks, because when we start something new, we're all in and we want to learn everything. Well, with the Trader Genius software, you don't have to know everything within the software. I use maybe 10-15% of the software and trade full time with it. So understanding where your niche is in the software, putting on your blinders to the rest of it, and learning a system within that niche. Once you've learned that system and you're comfortable with it and you're on maintenance mode with it, then if there's something else that you want to do or want to expand out, you can always do that. and then
Yeah.
grow over time. So you take it in an incremental kind of process instead of trying to absorb it all at once, because the market can get pretty overwhelming pretty quickly.
Well, especially if you go into it with unrealistic expectations, like you see somebody driving around a Lamborghini, or they've got a plane and they're just stepping off of it on some ad. That can make you think that it plants that seed in your brain that you can become a millionaire overnight. And look, there are people who become millionaires overnight. It's not impossible, but it's highly improbable, and it's a waste of time for most of us to chase that, because it's so unrealistic. You might as well buy lottery tickets. So starting with that analogy, that's a really good. Makes me think of tools, and basically what you're trying to do with any trading system, whether you're trading stocks, options, longer term investing, or any of those other Forex, crypto, you're trying to make the best meal possible. Trader Genius tools, or any tools out there, are what you use. That's your pots and pans, your cutlery, your cutting boards, and then the ingredients are all those stock candidates or the options trade setups that you're eyeballing. You're seeing if it fits your rules, and if it's something that fits it's in line with your trading system. So make the best meal possible. You probably want the best tools available.
Absolutely.
So as far as, you said you only use 10 to 15% of the Trader Genius tools. Why is that? Why do you use such a small fraction of the powerful tools that are in the software?
Because I don't need anything else.
Okay.
They are super effective, and they're transferable. So the same tools that I use day trading options is this basically the same tools that I use short-term stock trading, and the same tools that I use for investing. And so when you have your blinders on and you're able to create a system that you know works, and you go to expand out, it's really understanding some of the underlying fundamentals of those other instruments. But as far as the indicators themselves and how you put them together, that's already mostly formed. And so it's really just a matter of testing that idea using those other instruments, and seeing what the outcome is, and maybe a few tweaks here and there, but you're already within the ballpark once you develop that one single system, which is the most important thing. Is get started, figure out the recipe that works, and slowly, incrementally growing your account over time, and opportunities will arise if you do that systematically.
Yeah, and you keep it simple. You don't try to do too much. You're not trying to learn to stock trade and options trade and do Forex all at the same time. Get good at making one meal, one scone, baking up a scone that's really delicious, and just get really, really to the nitty gritty, where you can consistently make one good scone or a muffin or whatever you want to call it, and then branch out from there and start to make other dishes. But that's the name of the game. So if you're seeing everything in the news about the stock market and you've just been curious, you're interested in getting involved in a general sense, you just don't know the specifics to basically take you where you want to go and get your foot through the door of whatever style of trading is going to be best for your personality. There's a multitude of options out there, and the name of the game for you at this stage is just get educated. Starting with this video, get curious. Google around, start to figure out the lay of the land, as you were saying before, of these different markets out there and whether they would be a good fit for you and the lifestyle that you're pursuing. So get educated and just contact Trader Genius. I mean, we have Jess here, who will probably be the first guy you talk to. There's Mark. There's a host of members who volunteer their time to help grow the club, because it's such a badass place to be. So check out the website, see what's out there, start with that education, and find the best tailored fit for whatever application you're looking for. Where are you trying to get to? Work backwards from there, and you can find the trading style and format and instruments to trade that are the best fit for you.
Yeah, I think that's really awesome ideas and a path forward. The only other thing I would add on there is talk to people that are trading. Talk to people that are trading. Figure out what is the realistic day-to-day experience that they have gone through, kind of the path that they've gone through, and see if that's something that fits you and your personality, because trading is really an individual pursuit. We can have support, like with our community, the great support for that, but at the end of the day, it's you and the mouse and the computer screen and the data, and deciding and making these decisions that allow you to incrementally and consistently grow your account over time.
Yeah, for sure. Get the lay of the land. Talk to people just like you would anything. You know, we go on Yelp or something to check out a restaurant. Yeah, talk to Trader Genius members on the YouTube channel. There's all kinds of different interviews you've done with some of our members who have found success. And just know that going into checking out Trader Genius, like, we're here to bring each other up. The mantra of this club is that a rising tide brings up all ships, and we're very, very invested and interested in seeing each other succeed. We just had our alumni meeting last night, and we do that every 2 weeks to help keep everybody on track and support those who are still making their way, still taking those steps. So check it out. It's of great interest to you if you want to get started in the market. You just don't know where to get started. Will be the right fit. Get educated, find some information out there, and vet the sources that you're getting your intel from.
Good call on that one.
All right. Hey, it's been great talking to you guys. We'll see you later.
See ya.